Assalamu alaikum students. We are continuing our previous lesson, that is the Europeans' arrival in India, but we are today focusing on the role of the Siraj-ud-Dawla and the battles fought in the subcontinent or in India. Moving towards the learning objectives, by the end of this lesson you will be able to know who was Siraj-ud-Dawla and what he did, the battle at Fort William and who won it, the historic Battle of Plassey, the Battle of Buxar, and the decline of Mughal power. The next slide is on the battle against Siraj-ud-Dawla. With the settlement and the expansion of different East India companies in India, the rivalry also began. The British and French were strengthening their settlements against each other. At Fort William in Calcutta, the British put up the guns on the walls and dug a ditch to keep the French out. Siraj-ud-Dawla ordered the Europeans to stop their fortification work, but British didn't obey. So Siraj-ud-Dawla marched to Fort William with an army of 5,000 men. The Britishers were panicked because they had only 250 soldiers, among of which 270 were ill. Siraj-ud-Dawla's men opened fire on the fort. The British governors and the senior officers and the richest merchants rushed to escape by river, and more than 200 women and children were drowned as their overloaded boats sank. The Siraj-ud-Dawla entered Fort William and he won. The loss of Fort William was a serious blow which greatly weakened the British power in India. They made the British look like cowards and fools. But British had to do something. So the Robert Clive was asked to lead an army as a retaliation or to take revenge against Siraj-ud-Dawla, which eventually led to the British control over the subcontinent. The Robert Clive then attacked Siraj at Plassey in West Bengal. Clive used Plassey House as his headquarters while his men camped nearby in a mango orchard. From the roof, he saw Siraj-ud-Dawla approaching with his army. The British forces were so much smaller that it seemed impossible to win for them. But a rainstorm wetted the ammunition and arms, making some of it useless of Siraj-ud-Dawla's army. The British fired at Siraj's army. Siraj soldiers were killed and more ran away. Moreover, Siraj's cousin and commander-in-chief of his army, Mir Jafar, promised that he would be defeated and British would promote him to the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Jafar, worried that Clive might wish to save Siraj's life, decided to kill his enemy quickly. In return, Clive's help in making him a Nawab of Bengal, Mir Jafar gave him a huge sum of money and a land. Mir Jafar became the ruler, but he was completely a puppet under British control. The Battle of Plassey was won by Britishers, strengthening the power of Britishers in the subcontinent. The Battle of Buxar. In 1758, Clive became the first governor of Bengal. Mir Jafar was promoted and replaced as Nawab by Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim refused to be the puppet of the British, and that's why he was replaced. Mir Qasim then gathered some Mughal allies, including the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam, and marched to fight against the British. The Indian side or the Mughal side perhaps had the 30,000 men, but the company had only 7,500 sepoys. The long, fierce battle that followed was the Battle of Buxar. It was the last stand of the Mughals against the British. The Mughals won it and the British were badly defeated. Shah Alam quickly sent his congratulations to the British winners. The Battle of Buxar then marked the end of the Mughal power in India and confirmed the British rule as the rulers of Bengal and Bihar. That's how the rule of the British Empire in India had begun. That was all from this chapter, students. Thank you for watching and thank you for your time.